It was a serene autumn evening in November 2021 when Keanu Reeves entered the elegant lobby of an upscale boutique inn in San Francisco. His outfit, a simple gray jacket and well-worn jeans, blended him seamlessly with the other travelers. To an untrained eye, he looked like just another guest, weary from a long day. But in truth, this man was not merely a visitor. He was the silent owner of the establishment, a place he had lovingly built to foster warmth and connection among people from all walks of life. Before we dive deeper into this moving story of humility, forgiveness, and transformation, take a moment to reflect on the power of kindness in your own life. If this story inspires you, leave a comment, share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more stories that touch the heart and soul. Yet, as the evening unfolded, Keanu was met not with the welcome he had envisioned, but with the kind of hostility that cuts deep. "Excuse me, sir." A sharp voice cut through the low murmur of the lobby. Standing behind the polished reception desk was Claire, a young woman in her early 30s, her tailored uniform as sharp as her tone. Her demeanor exuded authority, though her words carried an air of condescension. "Do you even have a reservation?" she continued, barely hiding her skepticism. "This isn't the kind of place where you can just walk in." Keanu, ever composed, offered a small, polite smile. "Yes, I do," he replied softly, reaching into his pocket to retrieve his phone. He pulled up an email confirming his booking and handed it to her. Claire barely glanced at it before continuing her tirade. "We cater to a specific clientele here," she said, her voice loud enough to draw glances from a few guests lounging nearby. High-profile guests, CEOs, celebrities, not just anyone. For a fleeting moment, Keanu's calm exterior wavered. A flicker of hurt crossed his face, but he quickly masked it. "I see," he said evenly. "Is this how all your guests are treated?" Seated near the cozy fireplace across the lobby, a young couple, Sarah and Daniel, exchanged quiet whispers. They had been enjoying their 5th wedding anniversary getaway when the tension at the reception desk caught their attention. "Doesn't he look like Keanu Reeves?" Sarah murmured. Daniel shook his head in disbelief. What would Keanu Reeves be doing here? Their hushed conversation was interrupted as Claire, now visibly agitated, reached for the phone to call security. Before she could dial, a voice rang out from behind her. "Claire!" The hotel manager, Paul, strode into the lobby, his expression a mixture of panic and disbelief. "Stop immediately." Claire turned, confused. "I'm handling it," she said, gesturing dismissively toward Keanu. Paul's face turned pale. "That's not just a guest," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "That's Mr. Reeves. He owns this place." A stunned silence fell over the room. Claire's confident facade crumbled as the weight of Paul's words sank in. Her face flushed with embarrassment, and her hands trembled. "Mr. Reeves," she stammered, her voice cracking. I didn't realize Keanu," ever gracious, raised a hand, signaling for her to stop. "It's okay," he said softly. Then, after a moment, he added, "But kindness should never depend on who someone is." His words hung in the air, their simplicity carrying profound weight. Sarah and Daniel exchanged glances, their hearts heavy with admiration for the man before them. They had read about Keanu's difficult past, the loss of his fiancée, the tragic death of their unborn child, and the untimely passing of his best friend. But seeing him in this moment, speaking with such humility, was something entirely different. Claire's eyes welled with tears. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "I let my assumptions get the better of me." Keanu nodded thoughtfully. "Words are easy," he said. "What matters is how we act, especially when no one is watching." Paul stepped forward, his voice steady but filled with regret. "Mr. Reeves, I take full responsibility for this. It's not the standard we uphold here." Keanu regarded him for a long moment before replying, "Let's focus on being better together." As the tension in the room began to dissipate, a young boy, no older than 8, approached Keanu hesitantly, his small hand clutching a crumpled piece of paper. "Mr. Reeves," the boy said, his voice trembling. "My dad used to watch your movies with me. He always said you were the kindest person in Hollywood." Keanu knelt to meet the boy's gaze, a gentle smile softening his features. The boy unfolded the paper, revealing a drawing of a superhero. At the top, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "To Mr. Reeves, the real superhero." Visibly moved, Keanu hugged the boy gently. "Your dad must have been an incredible person." he said softly. Thank you for sharing this with me. As the boy walked back to his mother, clutching a small keychain Keanu had given him as a token of gratitude, the lobby seemed to transform. The weight of the earlier confrontation was replaced by a sense of quiet reflection. Claire, still shaken, approached Keanu. I'll do better, she promised, her voice firm despite the tears in her eyes. I'll make sure no one feels the way I made you feel tonight. Keanu offered her a small, encouraging nod. We all have the capacity to grow, he said. It's what we do with that opportunity that defines us. In the corner of the room, an older man named George, who worked as the hotel's maintenance staff, began playing a gentle melody on the grand piano. The haunting notes of Claire de Lune filled the lobby, bringing a moment of peace to everyone present. Keanu approached George as he finished. That was beautiful, he said. How long have you been playing? George chuckled. Longer than I've been fixing pipes. He replied, My wife loved this piece. I used to play it for her every night before she passed. Keanu placed a hand on George's shoulder. She must have been so proud of you, he said quietly. Later that night, as Keanu sat in his private suite, he placed the boy's drawing among other treasured mementos, a photo of his late fiancée, a bracelet from his sister, and a book loved by his late friend. These items, though simple, carried the weight of his journey, a testament to the pain and resilience that had shaped him. Before retiring for the night, Keanu wrote a note on the back of the drawing. To the boy who reminded me that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, thank you for being mine tonight. He left it at the front desk to be delivered to the boy's room. The next morning, Claire arrived early, her determination evident. As guests filled the lobby, she greeted each one with warmth and sincerity, a newfound resolve guiding her actions. Watching her from the corner, Paul smiled, knowing Keanu's influence had sparked real change. As Keanu prepared to leave, he addressed the staff. Kindness isn't about grand gestures, he said. It's in the small, quiet moments that we make the biggest impact. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like, comment, and subscribe for more tales of humanity, hope, and inspiration. Let's keep the ripple of kindness going, one act at a time. And with that, Keanu stepped into the bustling streets, blending into the crowd, carrying with him a simple truth. Even amidst life's challenges, there is always room to be someone's light.